Good things happen with competent leadership. But how can the good get started and scaled up at the local government level? What makes communities' local chief executives work with resilient and inclusive and become model LGUs to emulate and imitate? With us in Thought Leaders, Secretary Mel Senen Sarmiento, Chairman of the Galing Pook Foundation, and former Mayor of Alabat, retired Major General Fernando Mesa. Good to have you with us, gentlemen. Thank you so much for
Thank you, ma'am.
joining us, General Mesa and Sec Mel.
Nice to be here.
Yes, and it's quite rare to have you both here and in Manila talking about your respective provinces. In Calbayog, Samar, you've been mayor at some point, and also General Fernando,
Yes.
you've been mayor of Quezon in
Yes,
Alabat.
Alabat, island municipality.
It's an island municipality and fifth-class municipality at that.
And the Gida,
Yes, in the
Geographically
geographically
isolated
isolated and
and the
disadvantaged
disadvantaged
areas.
areas.
And it's so interesting, at some point, it was also for both your provinces uh, registering with the highest poverty incidences.
Correct.
But you both turned it around,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's the beauty of the story.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you do that, Segmal?
Not easy. First of all, it's imperative for a local chief executive to really understand the meaning of the Constitution. And I focus on Section 9. For me, that's one of the most important section under state policies of the Constitution. The marching order, basically, of the Constitution is to free the people from poverty. And under Article 13, the beauty of our Constitution, inclusive and participatory governance, is embedded in the Constitution. That's why when the Local Government Code was passed, Republic Act 7160, it complied with the Constitution in seeing to it that there's going to be that process of consultation. That's why in the Local Development Council and all the councils for that matter, there is always private sector representation.
As you said, it's not easy. It wasn't easy, and that required a lot of weeding away of the politics and get people to take part.
Correct.
So, what exactly did you do
Then
during the years that you spent 3 terms in Calbayog?
using corporate tool is a very important thing too for local chief executives to be reminded of. It's like basically running a company. But instead of selling products, you're providing services to the people, encouraging investments and all these things. So we focus on the poverty problem rather than putting up a new city hall. We felt we'd rather focus first in addressing the poverty problem. Since we were the poorest city in the country, we had the most number of people living below the poverty line, something that we're not proud of course. And we were financially challenged, brought about by a good number of things. And it's like joining a company that's about to get bankrupt. And being able to reverse it after within 6 years, we were cited by the AIM as one of the most competitive small-sized cities in the Philippines. And after another survey was conducted by the NSCB, we were out of the top 10 poorest, and we recorded the highest reduction among cities. So we graduated class valedictorian in reducing poverty. It's not an easy thing to do. It's data-driven, science-based thing. And a shared vision is very important. It should not be the vision of the leader.
I can imagine it's the same kind of challenges that the general had faced. Pwede
Yeah.
ho nyo ba ikwento sa amin, kasi fifth-class municipality kayo, naiiba talaga, and that was the same strategy that you had
Yes.
employed, the poverty-focused development strategy in a fifth-class municipality,
Yes.
and island municipality pa
Yeah.
kayo,
Yeah.
which contributes to the challenge.
Perhaps because of my training in the military, I have to know the situation. And the situation is we have 3 major challenges. One is challenges on the health, second is on the livelihood, and third is on the values of people. mindset of people. And of course, our resources is we have land, people, and water. And so, knowing the situation, we've got to have our goal. So we set up our vision and vision. And and this is through consultation also with the people. So having the mission and vision, setting up the goal, we identify our mission as to uplift the quality of life of families. Because that is the very basic element of the society, the family. And our vision is to have a maganda, mapayapa, maunlad, maganda at masayang bayan ng Alabat. And later as bayan ng Diyos. And having this goal, and knowing the situation, we put up our programs. We put up the 4 pillars to attain our mission and vision. And that is improvement of the health situation, improvement of the education, literacy, and spirituality of people. And the third is livelihood, improvement of the quality of life of people to address poverty. And the fourth is peace and order, because critical elements in development is peace and order. And in addition, we have the cross-cutting concerns. And one is transparency, particularly in financial. Another one is excellence in public service. We have to bring our services closer to the people. The third is we have to make use of the private and public partnership. We've got to engage the outside world. We've got to engage the companies to help us, because without them, the government cannot do everything. Especially in the economic side, it should be the private sector who should take the lead. Another one is the disaster management. Kaya nga po, since we started these activities, wala po kami naging casualty from 2013 up to now. And another one is we have to take care of the environment. And the last is tie-ups and linkages with government institutions because they have the resources. Yung pong bayan namin is 5+ municipality and nobody wanted to come in because to engage in business in an island, it is more expensive.
Kasi logistical issue po, no?
Yes.
But then it's really good to know na may participation ng mga tao. So talagang yung mindset,
Yes.
binago ninyo.
Yes.
Ang ganda nga nung nailatag ninyo na parang yung approach nga, chief executive style, na parang corporation, pero military. May military ano. Nakatulong po ba yun?
Social
Yung-
enterprise po ang approach namin.
Ayun nga, na yung approach ninyo parang naging commander po kayo ng 2nd Infantry Battalion nung kayo'y nasa militar pa. Nakatulong ba yun ng malaki?
Opo.
Bilang isang mayor.
Because kami po,
Dahil ba sa takot o
hindi naman po.
dahil sa paniniwala na kailangan natin sundin si mayor?
Kinakailangan pong may passion tayo. And the people should know and should feel that you mean business. That's why nung pag-upo ko, sabi ko, walang hihingi o tatanggap na suhol. Otherwise, I will hang you. And they followed. So, the economy improved. At sabi ko, kung wala magninegosyong private because of logistical reason, the LGU will engage in business. And that is what we did. So, yung pong local revenue namin in 2013 at 7.1 million, in 2021, na-attain po namin ang 24 million.
Laking pagbabago.
At lahat po ng utang na minana ko, hindi ako nagreklamo, binayaran namin. And na-encourage po because of the peace and order, na-encourage namin yung malalaking negosyo, katulad ng feed mix. So sabi nga ni Henry, diyan sa bayan nyo, kahit gabi halos hindi nagsasarado ng pinto ang mga bahay. Because there is peace. And friendly ang mga tao. So kahit nasabi na mas mahal ng 2 pesos per kilo to produce the bangus, we will go in because we like the place.
Yan po yung napakaganda kasi na-experience ninyo
Mhm.
at pinarangalan na kayong awardee ng Galing Pook, which really recognizes the model LGUs and local government units in our country. So ngayon, trustee na po kayo ng Galing Pook at si Sec Mel is the chairperson. It's been over 30 years, kundi ako nagkakamali, 31 years na yung Galing Pook naghahanap talaga ng mga magagandang ehemplo. Ano na po ang kinalabasan nun in terms of scaling up na parang, marami na tayong ehemplo dito, baka pwede naman natin gayahin on a national scale?
Unang-una, on a national scale, it led to the passage of a new law or an amendment of the law. In our case, for example, on our coastal resource management, that led to the amendment ng ating fishery code. So, and I feel if only local government units are somewhat regularly consulted, not only by the executive branch, but by Congress as well, as some sort of parang nagbabackstop ka ng mga batas na parang andyan nga siya, bakit hindi siya umuubra sa baba. Maraming marirecommend ng sa local government. So yung mga nanalo ng Galing Pook, as I've said, in school, it's a mortal sin to copy, but in local governments, you're being encouraged. That's why mayors would go around, benchmark, and try to learn from one another. This is something I feel that we should further strengthen. And na-scale up ito sa national level na in a way nakaka-improve din sa mga pagplano ng national government agencies. But still may disconnect.
Bakit? Bakit nga ba may disconnect? 30 taon na yan.
May disconnect.
May struggle, kasi you're both coming from the local government level. And especially yourself, Sec Mel, you have become a policymaker representing the 1st District of Samar. Saan ba natin pwede ayusin para matanggal yung disconnect? And maybe cite a specific, maybe example na pwede nating ayusin ngayon, a low-hanging fruit.
Una sa Civil Service Commission, kahit na magaling yung local chief executive mo, kung hindi siya supported ng mga staff na para mapabilis ang serbisyo, it's something that the Civil Service Commission really has to look into. It's very common. Pag naka-job order, matyaga. Once naging permanente, the working habit somewhat changes. Not as driven. So, pero pag chinek mo yung rating, puro BS yan.
Very satisfactory.
Very satisfactory. Nagtatawanan nga lahat Hindi naman puro BS. Tapos pagdating sa productivity pay, lahat may productivity pay. Naawa ka doon sa mga gumagawa, supposed to doon sa mga not really contributing much, but anong incentive mo? So, dapat isa ito sa dapat tingnan ng Civil Service Commission. At saka, yung pagkuha ng tao. Kasi capacity building, always talk about capacity building. But at the end of the day, no matter how you train somebody who's not really into it, they're just going to listen. Because that's not their line, that's not their cup of tea, and they're not passionate about it. So we're basically just wasting money. But there are a good number of people in a local government unit na talagang they mean business. Kaya sinasabi ko palagi, pag pumasok sa local government for that matter, regardless of whatever position you're holding, a mindset is that of a nation builder. You're part of the team.
Pero hindi nga ba yung sinasabi nila, ang CEO, ang dapat mag-lead. Siya yung may vision.
Yeah.
So, nasa sa inyo yung power to convince them that this is worth their while.
Correct. But,
Because
but
it would be disingenuous to say na wala tayong sapat na staffing kasi hindi sila passionate.
correct. But you know the difference, there's a big difference. You have so many people from the corporate world appointed as secretary.
Is that bad?
No, they're very much capable in running an office, but navigating the adaptive challenges became a problem for them. Dealing with politicians, for example, dealing with the bureaucracy is something else. The mindset is totally different. If you're going to impose something now that is kind of unpopular but is the right thing to do, people who are against it would say, well, anyway, I'll see you in the next election. They'll threaten you. You don't experience that in a corporate setting because it's the other way around. You don't follow the boss, and the boss is supported by the owner or the chair of the corporation. Then, sorry, you have to go. Doesn't happen in a local government unit because the process of removing an employee under Civil Service Commission rules is a very tedious process. You really have to justify the removal, thus be accused of grave abuse of authority. So you have to deal with those legal things. Unlike in a corporate setting, that's what my friends from the corporate world are saying when they were in government. They really had a hard time navigating. This is something that Kalingpok is trying to mentor some of our local chief executives, how to mentor given the culture for them to be able to still achieve their desired outcome.
General, paano niyo po nalagpasan yun? Yung nasabi ni Secmel na politics, getting in the way, simula't simula pa lang yung iyong termino, yun na yun talagang kinaharap ninyo bago nyo magawa yung gusto nyong gawin. Sa po.
Una po, nasa sa mayor yan eh. Yung bang mayor ay mayroong vision. Mayroon pa siyang goal. Because I was invited in some forum, and after my lecture, may mga mayor na lumapit sa akin. Pagbalik ko, magpuput up na ako ng sarili kong goal. Ibig sabihin, tumakbo sila bilang mayor, pero wala silang iniisip na ano bang gusto kong mayari sa bayan ko. And ang isa pang ano dyan, yung passion talaga eh. And yung sinasabi nga ni Secmel kanina, kinakailang mayroon kang ano eh, yung may political will. Because katulad nun, nagtatanim kami ng palay. Basically, kami ang nagsusupply ng mga karatig bayan namin because we have a good apply. Pero ang bilis sa amin ng palay, napakamura. Yung isang kapan, isang sako, 500 pesos. Kinompute namin, kahit bilhin natin yan ng 650, kikita pa ang namimili. So as a mayor, nagpakalat ako ng balita. Ang munisipyo mamimili na ng palay at 600 pesos. Hindi pa kami namimili. Yung mga private na namimili, itinaas na nila sa 600 pesos. Yung coco sugar, may nakita akong isang area na gumagawa ng coco sugar. Sabi ko rin sa outside of Balabat, sabi ko, kumusta po ang buhay nyo nung kayo hindi pa nung kopra pa lang, kopra sa coco sugar. Sabi niya, nung ako ay nagkukopra, hirap na hirap ako. Pero nung nag-coco sugar ako, magaan ako nakapaaral sa kolehiyo. Sabi ko, ituturo niyo po ba sa amin yung technology? Oh. And so I talked with the Philippine Coconut Authority at nagpadala sila ng mga trainers. So yung technology, ikinalat namin. At naging major supplier kami ng coco sugar in the whole region. So, from zero, umabot ang income namin ng nakakapag-produce kami ng 5 tons per month. So, doon namin nakita na basta magkaroon ng share ang farmers sa value adding, gagandang buhay. Because sabi nga, sa kopra na lang, yung 1 hectare, ang tenant ay kikita lang ng 1,500 pesos per month. Pero yung 1 hectare sa coco sugar, nakapag-employ kami ng anim na mga ngarit, earning 10,000 pesos up to 24,000, depending sa skill. At mga magluluto, mga cook, kumikita ng 9,000 pesos per month. So, from 1 to 9 ang workers. And ang income from 1,500 to 10,000 or more. So, doon natin nakikita yung importante na sa value adding, mayroong napupunta rin sa farmer.
At natatanggal yung parang politika.
Yes,
Na-
natatanggal yung politika.
Na nagiging parang barrier, ano? Pero naiisip ko tuloy, General, yung mga karatig bayan, yung Quezon, tsaka Perez, na kasi nga, 3 island municipalities kayo sa island na iyon, nakumbinsi ba natin ang mga kapwa mayor doon na gawin din? And to replicate, sabi nga ni Secmel na it's good to replicate something good that's being done on the local government level.
Nung mag-mayor nga po ako, nagkaroon nga kami ng regular na meeting na 3 mayor. And the Sangguniang Bayan of the 3 municipalities, meron ding regular meeting together. And so yung mga programa na ginagawa namin, ina-extend din namin sa karating bayan. Yung aming Alabat Island Farmers Producers Cooperative, this is covering the whole island, so they are welcome. So may Coco Sugar kami na participants sa Alabat, sa Perez, sa Quezon. And in other, nagpatanim din kami ng mga kakao. So, at ngayon, yung project sa pag-produce ng tuba with the Lionheart Farms. So, we'll be producing 10 tons of tuba every day. Of course, itong pagpasok ng feed mix, yung mga fish cages, we'll be producing 25 tons of milk fish every day. So, okay naman sila. Kaya nga lang, siyempre, kanya-kanyang pacing yan eh. So sabi ko, hindi ba ako pwede maghintay? You are always welcome, but I will do my own pace. So, nagpatanim kami ng mga kapuno. Lahat kami nagpatanim ng mga makapuno. Pero yung mga farmers namin, nagsimulang mag-isip, paano mapaganda yung produkto nila? And so, ayun, ngayon, napoproduce na kami ng makapuno. So, importante talaga yung, hindi naman yung leader. Ano bang gusto mong mangyari sa bayan mo? Dapat importante yun eh. Otherwise, walang direksyon ang bayan.
Pero yun nga, may nababangga rin tayo,
May
ano,
nababangga.
Secmel, during your time as mayor of Calbayog, anong ginawa ninyo sa mga nakabangga ninyo?
Hindi lang sa Calbayog, no? Sa Kalimpo kasi, for the past so many years, umiikot ako sa buong Pilipinas, siyempre nag-secretary din ako. Nakikita mo yung mga magagaling na mga leader. Pag nagkikwento-kwento ko, palos parehas. Lahat yan may binangga. Importante yung ano bang vision. So sa vision may mga issues na na-identify, problema. Anong plano, anong mga action na dapat gawin? Para sa akin, importante, you consulted the people. Pag nag-usapan nyo, ito yung plano ng buo, bahala nang merong babangga dyan, tuloy-tuloy. Pag tinignan natin lahat ng nananalo ng Galingpo, same experience. Kasi pag sumunod ka na lang ng gusto ng iilang mga powerful na individual sa community, walang mangyayari sa lugar mo. Kasi it's all about their interest over the interest of your constituents. So, very important yon. At by the way, yung tulungan ng local government, embedded din sa Constitution. At nasa local government code, interlocal government collaboration actually is being encouraged. And I guess, if you're doing well, nare-recognize ka, pinapakinggan ka ng national. In my case, for example, in-appoint ako sa Regional Development Council Chair na normally, governor ang ina-appoint nun, na tumulong sa pagplano ng buong Eastern Visayas. This was when I was mayor.
And malaking benefit ba yon?
Sabay-sabay.
Na kayo yung ginawang regional head?
In a way, because humingi ng tulong sa iyong presidente pagplano. ng buong region paano makahabol. So, para sa akin, ano yun, it's an honor that, as I've said, normally the head of an RDC is a governor. And yung ginamit din natin kung anong mga tools na ginamit sa baba, ginamit din namin sa region. And in-approve ito at sustained ng ilang pangulo. Tuloy-tuloy hanggang ngayon. Patapos na siya. Almost lahat na nasa checklist, matatapos na lahat.
Nung naging secretary kayo of DILG, kinailangang magkaroon din kayo ng engagement. All the more with the local government units. Pero nasa batas nga na hindi nyo po pwedeng i-order.
Yeah, correct.
Or sabihin doon sa LGU na itong gawin mo.
We can
yan,
only
gawin nyo.
encourage. No?
Paano nyo ginawa yun? That's a very fine line.
Yeah, kasi pag sinabi mo you're mandated, it might be questioned before the Supreme Court. In violation sa local autonomy na na-enjoy ng mga lokal na pamahalaan. Nag-usap-usap kami nila Jesse Robredo nung araw. Di pa kami mga mayor pa kami. At isinulong yung SGLG. In a way, yung Seal of Good Local Governance. So halos lahat ng ehensya ng gobyerno, pinasok ngayon yon para masiguro na ginagawa ang dapat gawin. At least yung minimum na requirement, ginagawa ng local government. Nakakaiba nga lang sa galing po kasi ang SGLG minimum, kami outcomes-based. Ano naging impact sa isang programa? Yun ang pagkakaiba. Kaya medyo mahirap manalo nga lang ng galing po dahil dyan. Pero in a way, nakatulong to ngayon na sinusunod ng mga local executives. Kahit nga sa preparation, ngayon may masamang panahon, may listo checklist na tayo. Pag hindi pa rin nagawa ng LCE yan, malamang hindi mo binasa yung naka-checklist na nga hanggang household na yung level. And the department has been campaigning to adapt to climate change, no? Natanggapin natin. Lumalakas yung bagyo, extreme weather na condition, iba na yung intensity ng bagyo, lumalakas. We need to adapt, no? So ito kasama ito sa campaign ngayon ng Galing Po. Kaya resilience kasama sa pagpili ng nanalo. At ang resilience ngayon, hindi lang sa natural hazards economic resilience, lahat na sasakupin mo lahat yun So basically, our call is future-proofing your community. And it's important for a leader to be visionary na malayo ng pinag-uusapan, no, na dapat ganon din ang trabaho ng council. We have so many laws already. I feel that the role of the mayor really, or the governor for that matter, should be an economic and development manager. The provincial board and the council should be the main planning board together with the mayor. They have their own LEDAC. Focus on their plan, if there's a plan. But that plan should be professionally done. Pero yung plano na yan dapat galing sa tao, kinonsult. Ano ba yung gusto nila para may sense of ownership yung community mismo?
And sense of continuity. Dahil, paano nyo po nakumbinsi yung sumunod sa inyo na magandang ipagpatuloy itong lahat na itong mga programa?
Sabi ko, open ako na to help them to continue. But siyempre, they have their own priority. But the farmers themselves, sila ang nagpatuloy ng mga programa. Because sila nakikinabang Importante talaga yung katulad nga. Yung first term ko, independent ako Pati but I have a team. Ang nanalo lang sa amin ako at saka isang konsehal. All the rest, opposition na. But since na yung aming Alabat Development Framework, may ownership ang lahat. Consulted ang lahat.
Kahit po yung opposition.
Kahit yung opposition, kasama sila sa workshop At tinulungan ako rito ng Fellowship of Christians in Government sa formulation na ito. And ini-consult namin sa mga tao and they all approve it. So sabi ko, magandang programa, pag magandang programa, kahit kontrahin nila, wala silang magagawa. Because magagalit sa kanila ang taong bayan. So para yung mga programa namin, katulad nga nun, problema namin bayan ay tubig. Pagka hindi umulan ng isang linggo, kagulo na ang mga tao. Pero nasolve namin ang tubig. 96% ng mga household namin sa bayan at sa kabukiran, mayroon ng sariling patubig. So paano namin ginawa ito? Hindi kami nangutang. May magandang plano. We even got the support of the Canadian Executive Service Organization. Nagpadala ng mga experts. Kinuha rin namin ang opinion ng MWSS. So nung nakalatag na yung magandang programa, ang dami nang gustong tumulong. Hindi kami nahirapan paghanap ng resources. Dumarating na lang. So if you have a good plan, the resources will come in.
Kaya nga, ang ganda kung pwede natin i-scale up. Pero may problema nga, no, yung disconnect na
Yeah.
napag-usapan natin. At isa doon na gusto natin tumbukin, yung National Land Use Act,
Yeah.
na hindi maipasa-pasa. Pero importante for food security.
Yeah.
Where's the
Problema
hold
pa rin.
up? Bakit nagiging problema siya?
Sa
And in the way of addressing the comprehensive land reform.
yeah, sa local, you know, in addition lang doon kanina, no, shared vision is very important. Kasi pag sa'yo lang, pag nagpalit, continuity is going to be a problem. Pero kung nag-facilitate lang ang mayor, vision ng tao, tas time-bound na dapat, say 15 years from now, ganito tayo. Ano yun? Medyo ang tao na kondisyon.
So do we need a change in term limits or no? Yung
I
tatlong taon.
feel that should be at least 5 years of 2
5.
terms.
To make good on
Yeah.
the first run.
Yeah, yes. Tapos time-bound, planado, tapos professionally done. Yung input ng mga tao, you have to get a professional team to develop the plan. Tapos in our case, we presented it sa cable TV, 1 week, pabalik-balik for the public to comment. Tapos dinegislate para kahit sinong pumalit, tapos siya. Ngayon may ambition natin, 2040 tayo, may medium-term Philippine Development Plan. Ang low-hanging fruit para sa akin, sa SGLG ngayon, hindi lang minimum. I-check din yung kanya-kanyang target sa medium-term development plan. Regional, papunta sa local. Tumatama rin ba? Kung sinong ahead, recognize naman ng government. Yung mga laging behind, pagtulungan, mag-converge ang tumalala yung national doon sa local. Anong problema nyo? Wala tayo noon. Kailangan gawin yun.
Yun ba yung master plan na tinatawag?
Yeah. At
Na
saka
we never had any, kaya nga patsi-patsi.
yeah.
Magaganda yung
And land use,
experiences
wala.
sa local government
Oo.
level, pero hindi nasi-scale up.
Yeah. Sa national, hindi pumapasa yung national land use eh.
Bakit nga ba?
May mga naglalabi against it. Kanya-kanyang interest. So, kailangan, as I've said, yun ang challenge palagi. Na, gaya ng sinabi ko, maraming magaling sa corporate world. Pagdating sa nahirapan eh. Dahil yung mga klaseng problema.
So how can local chief executives like yourselves na may experience from the bottom help? Ngayong alam nating nahihirapang ipasa ang isang polisiya na kailangan para magkaroon ng magandang connection ang national and local government.
Kailangan, during our time, during my time as SecGen of the League of Cities of the Philippines, naglagay kami ng policy unit. Ang target namin maging lobby force ang League of Cities. Pero dapat hindi lang League of Cities. Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines. Kasi lahat yun umbrella organization yun ng League of Municipalities, Provinces, Cities, Councilors League. Lahat yun, miyembro nun. Dapat nagkakaisa yun na naglalabi doon sa Kongreso na ipasa na yung land use plan natin. Kasi at the end of the day, the members of the Senate, subject din sa re-election eh. Kaya ang mga miyembro sa House, subject din sa re-election. Kung yun ang maging solid lang ang boses ng local government officials and the public na ipasa na yung land use, national land use plan, it can really help somewhat influence local governments. And perhaps national government can provide some level of subsidy. Kasi hindi kakayanin ng local, sila lang. Multidiscipline kasi yan eh. Na tulungan ng mga eksperto pag-develop ng kanilang land use plan. Honest to goodness na land use plan din sa baba.
So subsidy lang, nandiyan na yung Mandanas ruling na magbibigay ng karagdagang pera para sa mga local government. So dapat ikatuwa to ng mga LGUs. Pero mukha atang may issue. Unang-una, funding.
Ang epekto kasi ng Mandanas Garcia ruling, yes, may tulong kasi sinama mo na yung koleksyon ng Bureau of Customs, mas na-define ano bang sakop ng internal revenue sa koleksyon ng BIR. But, when the local government code was passed in 1971, nagkaroon na po tayo ng full devolution. The issue was on full allocation. Ano ba talagang definition ng internal revenue? Kaya nagkaroon ng 3 kaso na umabot sa Supreme Court. Lahat ng mga kaso na yun, nanalong local government. So, yun ang issue ng EO 138. Para sa akin, reminder lang yon na, hey, fully devolved na lahat ng functions na yan. Halos lahat nasa local na eh. Kaya dapat ang tutok ng mga mamayan nasa local official nila kasi nandun halos lahat. Now, the problem again, in-increase mo yung budget. Sa iba, it's an opportunity na increase din ng kanilang, makaka-appoint kami ng mga nakatulong sa amin last election. Kasi ang batas ang sinasabi, sa personal services, ito yung para sa mga career, should not exceed 45% kung first class, or in their case, fifth class, 55%. Bakit mo isasagad? Mataas kasi ang PS limit. Kasi nang ginawa yung local government code, wala pa sa equation ng computer at AI. Kaya manual kasi nung araw eh. Para sa akin, in my case, non-filling of vacant position kami para ma-reduce, para may pera ka for service contracting. Yung mga magagaling sa komunidad na pwede, linya niya to, kunin mo to, then they participate sa procurement para or maging kapartner ng department ng isang opisina sa LGU, maging kapartner sila sa implementation. Mas mabilis eh.
So, magiging project-based?
Yes, project-based. So, ang City of Los Angeles, for example, halos 24% lang ata sila eh. So, halos lahat yan nakakontrata. So, regulatory, performance audit, contract management, yun ang nasa more sa career eh, tinitingnan. No? Tapos, you allow the people, para sa akin yun ang tunay na people empowerment. May expert sa community sa line na ito, why not get that person, encourage them to participate in implementing some of the programs of government?
From your point of view, General, kung matanggap ninyo yung pera na ang promise nga nung Mandanas ruling, handa
It's
ba?
there already.
Handa bang gastusin ng maayos, na episyente, na makabubuti sa inyong poong?
Depende sa local government eh. Depende sa leader eh. Dahil kung development-oriented ang leader, more of that, ilalagay mo sa development. Pero kung politika lang, more of that, ilalagay niya rin sa pangpasweldo. Katulad nung kahit nga nung nakaraang COVID, going to COVID, yung iba umasa na lang sa ayuda sa taas eh. Yun pa kaya naman sa local. In our case, sabi ko nga, nagpatanim kami sa mga tao, yung ina nila binili ng munisipyo, at yun ang binigay namin sa mga tao. So, ano nangyari? Ang mga pamilya rin sa amin, during the pandemic, malusog na, may pera pa sa bulsa. Because the economy keeps on moving. And mga sariwa pa yung kinakain. So, pati nga ako sugar, binibigay namin ayuda. So, lahat ng produce namin, lahat ng produce ng farmers, binibili namin, ang local government, at yun ang inaayuda namin. So, umikot ang economy.
By the way, sa galing po, during COVID, may program kami, Adaptive and Innovative Leadership. Virtual. We even provided local chief executives a checklist of things to do. Parang local economy, kahit papano, tumatakbo. Tapos, nang may balita na medyo nagkaka-develop na ng bakuna, naglabas na kami ng checklist of things to do para mapabilis yung recovery. That at the end of the day, we can only provide those things. Pero kung ang leader talaga is just a passive type of a leader na more sa focus sa next election rather than being a leader na economic and development leader, wala ring nangyayari. So, babalik pa rin tayo sa leadership. No? Pero magandang combination sana, magaling yung leader mo. Sa civil service, matweak natin ng konti dito sa baba para mas sama-sama. Then, empower the people. Take advantage. Ngayon, kaya specialization na ngayon eh. Napaka-complex na ng mundo. Take advantage of the young today who specializes on something. Project-based, let them do it. Outcomes-based, they're good. Na-experience ang magaling. Pero kung ang mindset natin is maglagay pa rin, nakatulong sa eleksyon ito ilagay. Wala namang skill. Then just meeting the minimum standard prescribed by the Civil Service Commission, wala. Anong ma-expect mong production na output man?
May isang PIDS study na ginawa mga 2 years ago by Justine Diokno Sikat na sabi nga niya, 55% of LGUs did not have the capacity to plan and implement local programs.
Correct.
Sa tingin ninyo, mas mataas ba itong porsyento or mas bumaba na? Because this was 2 years ago. May progress pa tayong nakita?
I would say nasa range pa rin. Pero nag-i-improve ng konti. No? I would say a little bit lower. Pero yes, it's a need. Ang process still is something that most of the LGUs hindi pa rin ginagawa. Pero sa capacity building, maraming programa ngayon eh. Pero ang problema, may scholarship kami sa DAP, Local Government Executives and Managers Class. Pero ang problema, ang kaganding na nila. Pero titingnan ng mayor, sa kalaban to, tao ng kalaban to, hindi ko gagamitin.
Politika.
Wala na naman. So, what's your motivation to think of innovative programs kung hindi naman i-recognize? Sayang din. So, marami ng training ang ginawa. Pero meron din talagang tao na kahit anong training mo dyan, pag wala sa kanyang puso yung tinitrain, makikinig lang yun, hindi naman gagawin. But we now have people who are really doing well. In the last galing po, tuwang-tuwa ako, 2 sa estudyante namin, nakita ko doon. Mean to say, dahil binigyan sila ng break ng kanilang local chief executive. So, important din yon sa LCE to recognize people who are yung magagaling sa kanyang organization.
And also to recognize na yung mga botante natin, sila ang may susi.
Correct.
They have their skin in the game. They should know who to vote.
Correct.
Sila yung, nasa sa kanila yung desisyon. Ang nakukuha ko dito sa conversation na ito, paikot-ikot na lang tayo, hanggang naisin ng ating mga voters na pumili ng tamang mamuno.
In addition, ma'am, yung gap na nakikita ko, maganda yung plano ng national government. Kung minsan, problema sa implementation. So, baka kinakailang magkaroon talaga ng specific teams galing sa national government agencies to go down and help the local government. Sino pa rito ang non-performing? Para magkaroon ng connect at magawa yung ma-attain yung dapat na ma-attain. Kung hindi nag-iisip ng goal yung mayor, ituruan natin, ano pa pangarap mo?
Pero kailangan din natin, national government, paminsan, nagpaplano, walang mga experience sa baba.
Yeah.
So, maganda yung titulo, maganda yung plano, but hindi kinonsider how they're going to implement it in collaboration with the local government unit. So, kailangan talaga mag-usap. No? Para sa akin, national government, ang role niya is the what and the why. I-challenge yung local to do the other things on the how they're going to do it, where to focus on who among their people is capable of doing it with some level of support. Yung ayuda dapat performance. Pag magagaling, tulungan. Hindi maganda kasi yung naging policy ng national government nung araw na ang focus ito yung top 10 poorest provinces. Bubuhusan. Tapos nakagraduate yung iba. Hindi na kayo, graduate na kayo. So sinasabi ng iba, naririnig ko, kung ganito pala, wag na tayong magsikap na mag-graduate tayo kasi nawawalan ng support. So dapat tuloy-tuloy. It should be people who are really doing well, bigyan ng oportunidad. Kasi that's the only way we can encourage the others to likewise step up and improve their performance kung ganun na ang subsidy na binibigay ng national government in support to nakabase sa kanilang vision, attainment na kanilang vision sa komunidad. Pero ang vision ng LGU dapat, ika nga, nakatono rin sa vision ng probinsya or region and national.
National.
Napaka-importante.
May na-encounter nga po ako eh. I was able to get a project na nakatulong naman sa tao. Only to find out na ang laki pala ng pondo ng agency na hindi nagagalaw. Nag-identify sila ng mga 30 project sites. Ang gumalaw lang yung sa amin. Bakit? They have to check bakit ganun ang nangyari sa kanila. Diba? Sayang yung resources, yung opportunities eh.
Isa to sa problema ng both, kaya absorption mabaga. Ang local government din, ang sinasabi namin, sa galing po, palagi naming sinasabi, pag-aralan nyo muna yung national budget. Anong may pondo sa national government? Hingin nyo. Hindi nila napondohan. Ang LGU kasi grabing power na binigay. Basta para sa may general welfare clause. Ano yan eh, sakop na lahat. Ang wala yung national, yun ang pondohan nyo. Para nakakakuha kayo ng pondo sa... Ang problema, national government naman is not able to communicate on the ground what they have. So, paminsan sa government, silo kasi pa rin tayo. It's the kingdom thing. Paminsan, hindi alam ng kaliwang kamay ang ginagawa ni kanang kamay. This is something that, sa harmonization ng programa ng gobyerno, talagang mas closer na pag-uusap ang kailangan. At ano bang dapat alamin ng bawat national government office? Ano ba yung, sige, tingnan natin ano bang vision nyo? May scorecard ba kayo? May roadmap kayo? Sige, pagtulungan natin. Okay, anong kulang nyo? We can provide dahil sakop namin to. Meron kaming pera dito. Kulang yun eh. Pero kung hindi matyaga yung mayor na nag-reach out sa national, hindi mangyayari yung ginawa niya. Siya matyaga eh.
So given what we've surfaced in this conversation, ano sa tingin ninyo ang magandang abiso sa ating mga botante, mga voters who have their skin in the game to ensure that their communities are doing its utmost best?
Sa akin kasi, hindi pa rin nagbago yung isip ng tao.
Ng mga botante?
Na, yes, ang pananaw nila, centralized pa rin ang government. If you've noticed, everyone is so focused with the president. Nakalimutan natin when the local government, the new constitution was passed in 1987, there's decentralization of power already. Halos lahat na-devolve na sa local government. Nakafocus ng Pangulo ngayon, pag-understand ng geopolitics, magiging base ng foreign policy, economic, fiscal policy, interplay with the monetary policy, the monetary board, external defense. The rest kasi ng function ng Pangulo dati, nasa governor, mayor, kapitana. Kaya it's imperative for us to choose the right leader for your community. Kung gusto nyong bumulusok yung development sa lugar nyo, pumili kayo ng mga nararapat na mga leader. Suporta ng national government. Pag nagsama yan, bibilis yung pag-usad ng Pilipinas.
At saka ma'am siguro, yung ating mga botante, it's really a challenge. Paano mabago yung mindset nila? Pagdating ng eleksyon, kung anong ginawa nung namumuno, parang baliwala. Ang tinitingnan nila, saan ba ako kikita dito? So, magastos ang eleksyon eh. So, paano mababago yung mindset ng tao na dapat ang boto natin yung talagang may magandang vision, may magandang goal para sa bayan at may magagawa. Hindi yung maghihintay ng pag may dumaan eh. So again, really the big challenge is changing the mindset, yung values. Sabi nga, what moves people is the perception, not necessarily the truth. So kung ang perception ng tao, pera-pera na lang, iba talaga mayari sa atin.
So lahat po tayo may role sa pag-improve ng ating national and local government level. So I thank you so much for giving that direction and guidance. Marami pong salamat, Secretary.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
General, thank you so much for coming all the way from Quezon.
Thank you po.
Well, catch us again next Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Philippine Standard Time on One News. You can also check out the long conversation on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And if you haven't done so, like or follow my social media pages. I'm Kathy Yang, and this is Thought Leaders.